Back. Yeah, it started up a new stream. It's so annoying. I don't know. Okay. Save. And all right, now we should actually be live.
Oh yeah, look at that. It's working.
All right, welcome everybody. We're back finally. Just took multiple tries to figure out how to use the internet and how to select the correct stream. But we're back with the Game Dev Show. We got lots of interesting topics today. Got Andrew and Powell here to talk about AI and game dev, some new stuff that they've both been using, and see if it's useful for everybody else. I want to talk about a new platform that I was playing around with and I think might be a really good opportunity, a lot like when the iPhone first came out, where people were able to jump in, make really simple stuff, and make millions of dollars. I feel like it's going to be similar opportunities here. So I want to talk about both of those and anything else that comes up. So welcome, guys. You want to say hello before we get started?
No.
Not at all.
Just kidding. I would like to say hello. Hello, everybody. It's good to be here.
Yeah, it's definitely good to be back. Good to have you here too, pal.
Yeah, it's good to be back. Hi, everyone.
All right. So I think before we just dive right in, because I'm going to keep this quick and straight to the point. There was the main thing that really got me excited about wanting to share things was the going to MetaConnect last week. So got the little jersey there. I did not customize it because I didn't want to wait in line to put patches on it, but it was a really cool event that Meta was hosting, showing off their new tech, and I was, for the first time ever, actually excited about their glasses. I've tried their other glasses and stuff before, but then I never really understood the point because you have to talk to them and wear glasses, and it seemed like a lot of pain for no real reason. Plus, they were always really tight on my head. But this year they announced the Meta display glasses, which really feels like the first step in bringing AR down to glasses size and to be something that's common for everybody. They've got a little screen in there, and you can do a good amount of stuff with them on this nice little, or basically like regular glasses size frame. So it was really interesting to me, and I think that this, assuming that it goes the way that I expect it will, is going to blow up into the next big market. And it may not be these glasses specifically, but they have plans for ones in 2027 that are going to be full on AR, from what I understand, where you'll be able to do depth and put things over people's heads. And it just worked. And like, the interesting part was there was no tether to it. I didn't have a wire running down to my pocket or anything else. Just this little strap. You can see the little band that they've got on screen right there. That thing alone just controls your entire system, that and audio. So you can talk to it. You can also use that, and it's got little EEG sensors on it, so it can detect the gestures without actually seeing your hand, which was really cool. Because at first when I was doing the demo, I kept putting my hand up and doing this and pointing and stuff, and then I got reminded multiple times that I don't have to do that. So eventually I started just doing it in my pocket. But these things, I was not expecting them to blow me away. I wasn't expecting to be impressed at all. I thought, these are going to be just like the other ones, not that exciting. And I tried on all of the other ones that they have, their latest gens, and to be honest, like they're probably neat for people that like to run and ride bikes, but not for me, because I don't really like wearing glasses unless they do something really cool. And these ones were kind of it. Have you guys seen much about these glasses yet?
No.
Only what they showcased at the beginning.
Okay, yeah, it was interesting because they did a live demo where they tried to show off the AI features where it'll follow along and guide you through. They had a recipe demo. The whole demo blew up because they had the wrong audience there. I think they tested a whole bunch. What happened was they set up their glasses to all route to a local dev server, so that way network connections wouldn't be a problem if something went wrong during the live demo. So they set up any connection from that building to go to their dev server. But that building was full of hundreds of developers who were all wearing the glasses. So when they started talking to them, all of the glasses started activating and DDoSing their dev server. So it did the exact opposite of what they were hoping for and took down the whole demo. But I actually got to try the demo right after it. So when after Zuckerberg ran off stage and all that, we went over to the after party thing they had a nice demo section set up where you could kind of walk through multiple rooms and try out all of the different features. And there's some really cool stuff. I mean, the first thing that really was interesting was the text-to-speech stuff. So, I mean, you guys seen like regular text-to-speech, but in this situation, it was like I'm looking at a person and the text of what they're saying is just popping up, which may not seem that useful if you're just sitting, in your house or whatever, having a chat, but out in a loud area, because it was loud, there was a DJ right outside. There were lots of noises. It was great. I was able to kind of hear people from far away and hear what they were saying and understand it, or read what they were saying and understand it. But it also does voice translation. So it did like 5 different languages. They can talk in one language and then it could translate it straight to English, which I thought was really, really cool.
Apple's new
translate from dog to another language. Let me get these guys out of here.
That'll happen soon, they say. Apple's new earbuds are supposed to do the translation thing too. I would like to try that. That sounds confusing, but also neat if it actually works well, and if my brain can figure it out. I do wonder. So I'm still of the mind. I want to make jokes about being punched in the face while wearing those glasses, because this is the problem. I know the future is going to be wonderful when we're all wearing contact lenses that can take video and photo and stream and all this other shit. But I also know that there's going to be a bunch of people wearing these glasses with their hands in their pockets, and you're going to see their hands moving in their pockets, and you're going to know if they're controlling the glasses or doing something else. And it's just it's just gonna be a rocky road for a while.
But you know what else? In addition to the hand controls, the part that I thought was really interesting about it was the audio control. So there's an AI agent that you can talk to, ask it questions just like you could Chat GPT or something else. But I was talking to it in a volume that was so quiet that nobody else knew I was talking. I was basically talking like this, like not saying anything, nothing coming out, and it totally understood everything that I was saying while I was whispering to it. So I feel like in an environment where somebody's not totally staring at you and it's not very quiet, you could also just chat with them as well. But I think the end goal, from what I understand, is that everything will be very automatic. So you look at a thing, it'll start giving you information about it and kind of overlaying that. And I expect kind of long term, I'll be able to look at people, get their full information about them just live on the screen, and have it kind of pop up and follow them. Maybe give me some other useful stuff on them.
It's exactly what I don't want to happen.
I know, but it's neat because for me, like I run into people all the time, and I'll just start talking to them. And if I had some idea of who they were before I started talking to them, it'd be even cooler. Like I'd have some insight into them, especially when I go to events like that. Like meet people that are running all kinds of cool and interesting stuff, and never would know without just having a chat with them. Now I kind of like walk around and see that. And the current version though isn't that, right? You've got video calls, you've got recording, you've got music controls. You had I think they had like Instagram, WhatsApp stuff. And the thing that I think is really interesting though is that since there are very few applications for it right now, it feels a lot like that first gen iPhone that just had one page of stuff on it and was just waiting for an app store to fill up with stuff. I think that this is going to be the same. And again, these ones might not be the ones that everybody wears, but I feel like within the next couple of years, there's going to be multiple different iterations. They're going to get better and better, and they're going to become way more commonplace, kind of like the Quests have. And there's going to be just a ton of opportunity to make a lot of money as a developer. So I'm definitely going to get a hold of a pair and start seeing what I can come up with and start playing with them. But I think that everybody who's got any development experience should probably, or if you development experience and any interest in AR stuff, should jump in and see what kind of stuff you can do.
Yeah, from what you were saying about the display who this person is, I always think about scenes from Cyberpunk where they are putting on the glasses that overcome this and hack this. That so when you look at someone, you don't know who he is. Yeah, so they will be fine. I think if this happens, there will be fun to look about secrecy. Someone will have a device that blocks your glasses, and you will always try to have a device that will overcome this. So
well, that's I mean, that's the key thing there. I think obviously I'm not naive enough. I see the value in all this. I'm going to go to Europe in a couple months, and being able to walk around Rome and get information on what I'm looking at, translate things live in my vision, talk to people, and understand what they're saying in different languages. All that's amazing stuff. the concerns about just, especially with Facebook, no offense Facebook, but maybe offense intended, with Facebook and stuff, I don't trust them to not be so intrusive and just tracking everything. And the concern I have is really like about other people's privacy. If I'm wearing those glasses and it's constantly taking, looking at the world, is it going to be looking at other people and then tracking them and then selling that data, their faces and other things, that data to advertisers? I mean,
It probably will, but it'll
Yeah.
probably also give you a list of everybody that you've seen and interacted with and how to contact them. And if you ran into somebody that you forgot to get their info, you'll be able to call them up and just scroll through your people that you ran into. I mean, that's kind of the creepy hope, right? That it gets
Well,
to that point.
yeah, that's what I mean. It's like maybe if I forgot to get someone's information, that's on me.
There was another thing that I got invited to this webinar. It's live now as a video, but also using them for things like beating poker or completing actual tasks. So I think that's where it's going to be more useful, to be honest. Like if I'm going to an electrical breaker and it just overlays what's on there, like what each thing is, or if I'm rewiring something and it can explain or tell me how to fix. I actually literally have an issue with the toilet that I've tried to fix multiple times, cannot figure the thing out. I really don't want to have a plumber come in. Yeah, no, it's now it's busted off and I have to grab the handle, reach it down and kind of pull the thing up. I would love to just be able to put on glasses and have it guide me through step by step on how to do that. That kind of thing I think will be really, really handy.
Absolutely. I mean, I actually did some plumbing work to change a faucet, and they had some new connectors. Were much easier than the old connectors I'm used to the last time I changed a faucet. But I was like, how do I use this? And ChatGPT told me. But it would be nice if that was also able to see what I was doing and just tell me while I'm doing it, and
just give you live context. Like say, hey, not instead of a more generic picture, just say like, hey, this is the thing, arrow right to it. I can see these being the other thing, like huge in industrial stuff. So like, big places that do big manufacturing, airplanes and data centers and other stuff, where you could just put on the glasses and have it guide you through the steps or show you the issues or show you the things to inspect. A lot of the things that currently on a tablet right now could get into this form factor
But
pretty
there's
easily.
also a lot of applications like that for the Quest. Quest is used quite extensively right now in industry.
I think that's kind of the go-to right now is people using Quests with pass-through. And I think that something like this would be an even easier sell because now you just have glasses. You don't have to go through this whole Quest setup. It's much heavier and more. I feel like it's a little bit more daunting and harder to get people to buy in. I think it'd be way easier, especially when they get to the second version of these, to get them in a lot of big places like that. And which is also a great opportunity for developers.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't want to look like nerds wearing a headset. But I think that's where I'm sure this is going, where those lenses could be put in any old glasses. And as long as those glasses are set up, the frame either has the little camera, so I could get these frames for whatever, or pay more to get any frame I want, and then the lenses can just be those lenses, then you can get anybody can wear their glasses for the most part that they want to wear. And then, wow, wouldn't it be a thing if they could embed the camera into the lenses as well, so that really you could use almost any frame you want?
Just put them in anything. That would definitely be interesting because I mean, the one thing I wasn't a huge fan of is just the way that they look. They feel big and they make my face look very different. Not that I really care, to be honest.
Probably look
It's
smarter.
worth it for playing with tech. Probably. That's I just start wearing them all the time. Look a little bit smarter, but the other nice thing about them though that I haven't mentioned was that unlike all the other ones that squeeze your head and give me a headache, I mean, I tried them all on again just to make sure every single one of them was, within 5 minutes, my head was starting to hurt. These ones have a spring hinge at the front, so they actually were nice and comfortable. They pop right out, and they have an extra large size for weirdos like me with a giant head. So it was
nice,
pretty handy. And again, I think the AI features are going to be great. And Joseph mentioned in chat that Amazon is making glasses like this. So is Google. I think Microsoft might be jumping in. I feel like everybody is kind of they're all trying to get in. They all Apple too, because they all want to replace the phone. They want to get away from having Google and Apple be gatekeepers that get 30% and just have their own platform. So I feel like the first company that does a really good job with glasses and AI glasses and they're doing all augmented stuff is going to have a huge advantage. Well, the first company that maybe it's not the first company though, because I mean, there was always MySpace, right?
Well, isn't it always the second or third that succeeds? MySpace succeeded, but they didn't stick around. But Friendster did not stick around at all. But yeah, we'll see. I'm wearing I wear these glasses when I'm driving or out because it's for distance vision. Everywhere else, I don't want to wear them. Like I can see my screen just fine. I can't read either way, so it doesn't matter there. It's better without them. I don't know if I want to wear glasses all the time, and I don't know if people want to, but maybe it's a combination of some really nice small phone and this for when you want to like use it, but we'll see. It's going to happen either way.
Speaking of driving, I really wanted them for driving. I thought that would be interesting. Not that I would want to wear them all the time, but when I want to see something, I could just pop them on. Like my wife sends me a lot of pictures randomly, and I'm not going to pull out my phone while I'm driving and kill myself. So it would be nice if I could just like, pop on glasses and see it pop up, or also for navigation stuff, right?
I would only like it for the navigation stuff. I would, and for highlighting where there's a stop sign and reminding you that you didn't freaking stop at that stop sign. And there's an e-bike driven by me who you almost hit, because that happens too often.
Man, that almost happened to me in LA. I was leaving the 100 Thieves headquarters, and I was stopped at a gas station, pulling out of the gas station right afterwards. And I'm not used to being in downtown LA. So I'm like just about to pull out, and this girl goes flying by like 30 miles an hour on the sidewalk on a e-bike thing. It was an electric scooter this time.
Oh, wow.
Scared the living crap out of me. I was like, well, she almost died. I didn't see her at all. I had no idea. And I didn't even think to look for a 30-mile-an-hour vehicle coming along on the sidewalk. So something like that would be great, like obstacle avoidance.
Yes.
But I also like missed my turn. Oh, I took the wrong turn, turned on to a truck stop, and then had to try to slowly get over speed bumps. It'd be nice if it just had, showed the map and kind of overlaid where to go on, in AR. I think something like that would be really, really handy.
Self-driving cars, though, I prefer that over any. I just don't like driving, but
I like driving. I don't trust cars to drive me more than.
Well, I do.
I don't trust other people to drive me either. So
I've tried the Waze in San Francisco, and it phenomenal. Just
the Waymos.
That's why.
I think I rode with you in one, right?
Did we? We probably did.
Yeah, I rode with you and other Andrew in a couple of them. Those were impressive, but yeah, I mean that wouldn't, for San Francisco, sure, but anywhere else, I wouldn't want to ride around in one.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, a good use of AI while traveling. I went camping with my partner and folks, and on the way there, we were driving through California's back road highways, right, the more historic routes. There's all these historical markers along the road, so every time we passed one, I would say to my trusty AI companion on my phone, can you tell me about this historical marker? And then it would do it. It would read out loud, and we'd learn about what the hell we just passed. And oftentimes the thing that was historical was right there. You could see it. We would have no idea. And it was really nice to just be driving on these roads and actually be learning about where we were driving through and why these, old towns that look like they're from 1850 are still there, and they still look like they're from 1850.
That's a really good point. It actually happens to me all the time driving around different parts of LA. I'll see these weird buildings that look totally abnormal. I have no idea what they are. And I'm just like, I wonder what that is. And I always got to have somebody in the car go look it up and search and try to find it. If I could just look at it and say, what is that? And it could tell me, that would probably, at the very least, it would save my kids a lot of irritation having to look things up for me.
Well, and then you can do the back and forth, ask more questions about it. There's just so much opportunity. So it's very exciting, even though I hate the idea that people are going to be taking pictures of my beautiful face.
Oh, they'll be recording you the entire time.
I know. And then
they'll also be good though for when you get into an argument and you're not, you say like, hey, that's not what I said, and you could just go back and replay it.
I think that was a Black Mirror episode. So
I'm pretty sure it was.
Yeah.
It's a good idea. I should go rewatch that show to get some more ideas for apps.
Oh my gosh.
They probably had quite a few that are interesting, totally totally terrible, but will sell and do well. Speaking of that, Joseph was asking if I'm interested in these as a consumer developer or both. For me, it's both. I mean, I think that the consumer side, it's going to be fun and interesting. I mean, I don't wear glasses normally, so I probably won't wear them that often, but I'll wear them when I want to try stuff out or, like I said, driving around. I think it could be fun.
Did you buy some?
They actually don't come out for 4 more days.
Oh, okay. Are you going to buy
And I'm
some?
not even sure. So I've heard different conflicting stories. One is that they're only available in Burlingame near the headquarters on the 30th. The other is that they're available at all of the places that you can demo them. They actually have a scheduled demo link here. I'll drop it in chat for anybody that wants to check it out. You can go schedule a demo at like local Best Buys and a couple other stores. And the main reason they wanted to demo them was to measure the wrist straps. There are 3 different sizes. I was a size 3, so I already know. But yeah, whenever if they're available on Tuesday, I'll show you on Tuesday, and we'll be talking about them and using. I'll show you what they're like and how I'm using them. Give you a little bit more feedback than my 30-minute demo where I ran through them. But I'm really excited. Also, just looking for cool ideas. So if anybody's got any cool ideas, please let me know so we can start making some cool apps and get those out there. You guys got anything else? Any other thoughts on the glasses, or you want to move on to the stuff you've been working on?
We can move on. I'm done with glasses. How about you, Brian?
I think glasses too. I would like to ask you, what do you think about one other announcement that was there, the Meta Horizon engine that they announced?
Oh yeah, they're doing their own.
As moving out of Unity and moving to their own engine.
Yeah, I mean, I thought I was a little bit surprised at first, but it does kind of make sense. It feels like not because there's anything specific with Unity or Unreal that would make you not want to use them, but when they're building something like that, and first off, they're like massive, so they've got more money than they know what to do with. They can definitely build their own engine and have a team for it, but they're building something so specialized that only does one specific thing. It's these 3D worlds, kind of like a Roblox type system. And it does make sense to me to just build something that is kind of in-house and just does that. It doesn't have the 2D stuff, doesn't have Xbox support, basically doesn't have to support everything else, and can be 100% just hardware focused on their specific device, which is basically the Quest devices. They're not dropping Unity support for games in general, but for Horizon stuff, I can see why they did it. It sounded like they got a massive FPS improvement from just being native on their hardware, and then not having to go through, basically not having all of the extra stuff that a game engine gives you if you don't need it, and you've got the capability and budget to build your own thing. I can totally see why they did it, but I can also see why they took so long to do it, because they kind of got to figure out like what it is they actually need totally optimized. And
yeah. In addition to all of that, it seems to me like that is really the way to control the metaverse, which obviously their name is still Meta. They haven't changed it back, so I'm sure they still, and these glasses, not to talk about the glasses again, but in the real world, the whole idea about the metaverse is you can walk around and now other people wearing the glasses can see your special particles that you have on, or something that you paid 99 cents for, and so
see your wings flapping.
Yeah, exactly. And so they would really, it would make sense for them to have their own development platform for it, because they want people to develop for that, and they want to be able to control it and make it easier, and really have the I guess the structure of different projects working well together so that they work well in a metaverse environment.
Yeah, I think having their own environment, I mean, their own kind of platform there makes a ton of sense as a company too. Like I said, they kind of want to get away from Apple and Android ruling everything. It makes a lot of sense for them to build their own stuff, and then just getting again direct down to the hardware, I think, is the biggest benefit. I forget what it was, but it was more than a 2x improvement on FPS. I think it was like 4 or 5 that they were getting on their app versus running it in another engine, which again, I totally get. Optimize the hell out of it. So I also been looking at building something for Meta Horizons too. I actually had an idea. There's this game. It's a very old game that's going to date me. Let me pull it up. I was actually talking to a friend about it last night. but it's called The Pit. And I want to rebuild it on in VR or in the metaverse. But you can see like the original version is this little 2D game where you're moving your characters around. But what happens is essentially like you go in, you get in a fight, you kill the opponent, and you steal their loot, and then you use that gear to fight the next one. Very much like kind of like an MMO, but or I guess like any other game where that's item based, but you're literally just leveling up through fighting other people and getting items. And I thought doing something like that in VR might totally suck, but it might be fun. And I've wanted to replay this and rebuild it so many times. I actually was talking about it yesterday, and then I was like, oh, I should go re-download it and try it out again. And I opened up my drive and realized that it was literally sitting right there. I'd already done that like a year ago. I opened it up, got it ready, and was playing it a year ago, and I just totally forgot about it. So I'm gonna have to jump in there, spend a week or two, and see what I can do. I also just get a lot more experience with Horizons because it seems like a really simple platform to build for. You just hop in, you've got an editor in game, and you can play around, drop stuff in, and then it's just TypeScript for the code, so it's not very different from just writing C#.
Cool.
All right, so Andrew, you dropped in this link. What's this one about?
That is my latest asset that I've released. I was working on some stuff and I needed AI tools, and so I built a tool for AI tools. This is an integration with other services. So it's 11 Labs, OpenAI, and then the Black Forest Labs, who do Flux for images, the better images than ChatGPT does. So you've got to get your API key from them, and some of them have free tiers. So there's that. But once you do that, it's very convenient to go into the editor and just right click like a text texture or a sprite or an audio field or a string field and say, make me a new audio clip. So my favorite thing, the thing I do most often with this now, and since it stores your API key, you just install it to any project. And as long as you put your API key in once, it just works in any project. So you install in any project, go to your audio settings, your fields where you're doing whatever sound effect, just right click, say create sound effects. It'll create the sound effects and you audition the ones you want and say, put it in there, and boom, it's in your project. And you just trash the rest. The rest are just in your trash. So you can keep them if you want, but it's super fast, because before you'd have to go to 11 Labs and type in stuff and then bring it into Unity, rename it and all that. It does all that for you. It names it for you. If you do voices, that's the other fun thing I like doing, but I do it less than the sound effects. But you can just literally talk to your computer and do the voice line you want to do, and then click a button and it puts it in another person's voice. It names it. There's a nice flexible naming system, so you can put variables in the name of the file, so it's very organized for you. It's very convenient, and it's extremely fast to create new content using the AI services. And even ChatGPT, you can just take a list of strings or just an empty thing. So you've got like goblin names, and just right click and say, give me 10 goblin names. And then it will populate a list of 10 goblin names and you're done. And it does it in the inspector, so you don't actually have to copy paste anything.
It sounds really cool. I'm gonna drop that into a project and give it a try later today.
Yeah.
There's the things that you listed. The main one that I'm constantly having to deal with is sound effects.
Yeah.
So if I just do sound effects without having to go search around or go try out an app, I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, and they all of them work with both individual fields, but also lists and arrays. So if you have you want to make a variety of different sound effects, you can create 10 at once, and then just choose the ones, click the button to put in the list. And then there's even a tool, because sometimes the AI clips there's white space before or after or whatever. So I also added a tool that you right click the sound effect, the clip itself or the field, one of the two. And you can trim it right away. It just opens up a little trimmer, and you can go boop, boop, and trim the outsides, and you're done. It just overwrites it, and you've got a nicely trimmed sound effect clip. So it's super convenient, super fast. And I actually use it now, which is fun, because it's neat to actually make a tool and then realize that you're using it yourself for your own stuff. So it's convenient. What do you think, Pavel? He's on the phone.
No, checking 11 apps. What was changed in connection to your tool? No, tool looks amazing.
Yeah.
Also
They,
thinking. The only problem for me is, as always, I can't use it in my assets. But if I used it for a game, that's for prototyping, checking, that's great thing. How long did you take you to do it?
A few weeks. I mean, I developed it using AI tools like AI scripting tools just to see how those work and help me along. We can talk about that. I've got mixed feelings about those, but it took me a few weeks to make it work. The APIs were fairly straightforward, and the AIs know about the APIs, so they can set most of that up. And then, of course, I had to go back and make it look pretty because I'm nothing if I'm not making pretty assets, right? And so the inspectors look nice. They're functional. They're very much human friendly in the way the workflow is, because the AI sometimes make very pretty things. Sometimes they make things that are horrible and are not user friendly and stuff. So there was a fair amount of polish time, and then the documentation somewhere on this page near the top. There's a link to the documentation, so you can click into that. And I spent a lot of time working on the docs because
we'll click it real quick. Oh yeah, this is very, very detailed.
Yeah, so there's lots of documentation on everything. And the history window. Sorry, I forgot about that in the history window. So you can actually, it keeps a history of all your stuff that you've been doing. So when you forget, you can go back and search and be like, wait, I'm sure I did footstep sounds in the past. Just search for the word footsteps and you'll get your audio clips right there, and you can find them. And it's very easy. Or you can reuse the clip, the prompt, and do a new version of the same prompt and all that other stuff. So a lot of cool stuff there.
Well, yeah, two things there. I'd love to hear more about the AI that you use to actually write it, because I know you mentioned using a lot of code gen AI stuff. And RoboRant just asked in chat about copyright laws and how those apply. Are you worried about that anymore? I know that's something that came up a lot in the last couple of years, and
yeah,
there have been random lawsuits about it. But is it something that you're actually concerned about?
Not particularly for me. I think if anyone gets sued, it should be the companies that are making this stuff, because they're the ones who are pushing it, not little old me. Little old me and little old you are being told that we can use this and we own the copyright to it because we're paying for the pro license or whatever, So, yeah. I think it's fine personally. I'm not a lawyer, obviously, and it's. But
you're not?
No.
You get disbarred?
Yes, actually, and it's very raw, so a little too soon. But the how many years has it been since Midjourney first blew up? Right, 3 years now, more 4 years, something like that. It's been a while,
a long time, yeah.
and they've been sued. I'm sure those lawsuits will go through the motions, and I guarantee you, some of these companies, I don't know which ones, but some of these companies have definitely broken laws in getting this content through. I don't know what the ethics of it. That's on each person individually, but I'm still buying human-made content. But the
you don't want to buy human-made goblin names.
I'm not buying human-made goblin names. Because that I would be me making the human, and that's what strikes me as very interesting though. There's still a lot of people worried about the copyright when it comes to the art stuff, the visual and the audio. Nobody seems to be worried about the copyright when it comes to the code stuff, but the code stuff and ChatGPT, any stories, etc., is equally at blame for copyright or at risk for copyright stuff. It does not matter that it's text, but because somehow it's not quote unquote art.
It's because it's not visible. That's why nobody can see it, the end user. But I know when I was at Qualcomm, this was actually a big issue. Like there were rules against taking like even open source code and copy pasting it, or even having looked at some open source code and then like redoing that. If you had looked into it and read the open source code, you're not allowed to write that feature. Somebody else had to do it. And we actually had some stuff that had to be kind of redone because it basically got flagged in a copyright thing by a legal department. Not my stuff that had been there for a while, and it wasn't anything huge, but some like decompression stuff that was written, and I forget the details on it, but it definitely happens with code. It just only happens with companies that could get billion-dollar settlements, because nobody wants to go look at my code or your code, because even if they sued us to oblivion, it's going to cost more in lawyers than they could ever possibly get. But when it's a big company like any of the big tech companies, they actually have pretty strict legal rules on it, at least from the ones that I've seen and the people I've talked to at all the other companies too, where they kind of scan through it constantly. The code base gets scanned looking for anything that matches open source stuff or matches something that's not from the company, not original, because they're just terrified of lawsuits, because they happen. I mean, they happen all the time.
Yeah.
When you make $1 billion+ a year, people want to try to get a hold of that, and lawyers are more than happy to come after you, I'm sure.
Yeah. And
right, Andrew, is your legal experience?
Robo Rant asked that if you make sound effects, if they make sound effects from this, they basically get copyrights for it. You'd have to check the 11 Labs legal terms for that. I am not a lawyer. I have been disbarred. So my understanding is their terms say yes. If you're on the pro thing, you have the copyright. Whether that stands up in the Supreme Courts of every country in the world, we'll see, right? But I also think we're making games. Mostly, we're making prototypes of games. Nobody's gonna care. Like these big, artists and other people aren't really gonna care that much about you making a prototype game. And if push comes to shove, when you're ready to publish that game, okay, spend a little money and get something from the asset store, get something from somewhere else. Although even from the asset store, you can't be guaranteed that it's not AI derived or AI augmented or AI whatever. And I think fast forward a few years, everything's going to be AI augmented. So I don't know what's going to happen, but I wouldn't worry about it right now. Make your game. And then if there is any concern at the last minute, right before you publish, replace things with human made content.
But I think that's generally good advice, and start with AI stuff and then replace it if you can.
And buy stuff from the asset store too. I mean, just do whatever is the easiest and convenient to get your game made faster and keep moving forward. Maybe we should talk about this. Making like AI scripting is very powerful. If you haven't been using it, you should be using it, in my opinion. But it can do crazy things, but it is not like gonna make your game for you. The vibe coding is not as fun.
That's the way to go.
Oh my God.
Just tell it what game you want, and it makes it. The funny thing is that's kind of what Meta's Horizon setup is starting to try to do, where you just type to it and it writes the code for you, and that's how you make games.
Sure,
That's at least the way they're advertising.
If you're within a framework, then yes. But I think what you like, what I would encourage people to do. This is what I would encourage people to do. Go to ChatGPT and say, I need a simple tool in Unity that does whatever, right? And it will produce probably a tool that does exactly that. And sometimes it will actually look phenomenal. Like it will look good. It will be functional if it's simple enough. Now take that and try expanding, start expanding it. Whatever tool you're using, start expanding it. And you'll quickly realize, okay, now I need to be more careful with the AI. I need to be more of a manager of the AI. I need to check its work. It's getting confused. I'm getting confused. Wait, that's not what I asked for. And you're going to realize if you want a more complex tool, it's easier just to buy it from the asset store. Right? Spend the $50 on the asset store and you can move on with your game. But for simple tools, yeah, absolutely. Start using the AI. But that, and I think everybody should do that because it's important to learn the new stuff. Yeah.
Now, before we jump into the AI tools that you used, Dustin did ask a question about this. I didn't see this in a Nintendo patent for game mechanic of summoning characters to battle. Did you see that they patent that?
That doesn't sound like
something. While we've got a non-lawyer on the show, we should check.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
don't think you
saw
can
what
patent that. That's not a copyrightable, at least in
it
the
is.
US.
They got patent in US.
I think you can patent anything in the US. You just have to pay the fee and make the document look legally. I don't think they actually read them.
Well, my understanding about game mechanisms is that they cannot be copywritten, and that's why there are so many Monopoly clones. As long as you call it Catopoly, or Dogopoly, or Bibleopoly, or whatever the opoly is, then
You're sure
it's
the
not
patent didn't
Monopoly.
just run out because it's an old game from
No.
early 1900s?
No, my understanding again with my not a lawyer hat on is any game mechanic can't be copywritten. It's the IP can be, right? The certain words can be, but not the game itself. So you
So
could
they
make.
patent those. They don't copyright them.
All right, maybe
Maybe
not a lawyer.
all right, we're
No,
gonna have to replace you with a real lawyer, Andrew. This is not
no,
helpful.
That's fair. That's fair. It's gonna cost you a little more, but
no,
it's
about
fair.
the
We need a free
mechanics.
lawyer.
Do you hear me?
Yes, yes. Sorry.
100%? Yeah, about the mechanics, what Andrew said, the law that uh, forbid from patenting new mechanics came from, I think, from Atari versus Sierra lawsuit that went up to the Supreme Court in US, and it was the Supreme Court said it can't be. That's mechanics, but that's always a decision of one Supreme Court. And from Nintendo just pulled off that they patented the in-game option that characters can summon others to battle. That's what's the patent about. So mostly they patented summoning of other stuff in game.
So having pets, basically.
Not only
Interesting.
pets, other characters too.
Yeah, I mean, basically, almost every mechanic where you've got more than one character. Yeah, that's definitely seems crazy.
Yeah, especially that I would say that they weren't the first to think something like this.
But speaking of, I remember when Pal World came out and everybody was freaking out about that getting sued by Nintendo, but they still ended up making a killing, and it went well. And I don't know, I worry a lot less about patent stuff now. Just I remember when VR stuff first came out, and we really wanted to make a lightsaber game. I remember I was talking with Salim. He was hanging out, and we were kind of building it. And then for some reason, I was overly afraid that Disney would sue us if we did it. And then a bunch of people made lightsaber games, and they were hugely successful. So I regretted it instantly because we had a working one well before anybody else was even starting on them. I think I should have just done it. So it'd be less afraid of patent stuff. And realize that I just talk to a lawyer, I guess.
Yeah, and start your company or LLC with it, so that if anyone gets sued, it's your LLC, not your person.
Definitely not a sole proprietorship, right?
Yes.
So you want to have a nice legally protected company if you're going to start selling it. But yeah, it's definitely an interesting thing. I'm not a big fan of patents for game. I think game patents are just stupid, to be honest. I feel like it's just people trying to lock other people out of competing because there's nothing special about 90% of the patents that I see. Like sometimes if they actually invented something new and cool, sure, it makes sense. Like give them some exclusivity. But if they just added a different mechanic to a game or slightly changed something, I think it's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like I think that the whole patent system is totally flawed and just there so that lawyers can make a ton of money, right? So that patent attorneys can make a bunch of money.
Yeah, I think there's a place for it, but for games, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't want the concept of leveling up to be patented by whoever was the first one to say you've leveled up.
So, no, it'd be whoever decided to pay a lawyer first, not whoever came up with it.
That's true. That's true. That is true.
It's interesting. Yeah, so let's go on. You were mentioning using AI tools, Andrew, and I know Powell's been using some too. Which ones were you using to do this code gen?
I have been using heavily Bezi, Bezi, and ChatGPT when Bezi fails, because nothing's perfect. No offense, Bezi team, who are very nice people from the ones I've talked to. So Bezi is this is my pitch for Bezi. They should sponsor this show or me. But this is my pitch for Bezi. It knows your project. They have a Unity package that goes into the project. When you talk to Bezi, it's a standalone application, but when you talk to it, it knows what's in your project. It knows what scenes open. It can look at your game objects, see the components. It can see the values of the fields in those components. It can see your console. So if there's errors or debug logs, it will see that and react accordingly. And you can ask it things. And what what's interesting about it will write code for you left and right. And there are times where it will spend 10 to 15 minutes writing code, changing its code, fixing its code, going back to other classes and fixing those, updating things over here, updating things over there. Like all AIs, it's not perfect. Sometimes it takes a few iterations to be like, oh, there's an error. And we can talk more about other frustrations with it. But that's the big selling point, is that it's more built into Unity than anything I've seen, aside, I guess, from Unity's own AI. And that gives a huge leg up over, in my opinion, using like ChatGPT or other writers
Which will
AI.
randomly give you non-Unity stuff occasionally when you're
Yeah,
working.
or to not really know what's going on with the or not being able to go further than in the project. So oftentimes, you might have all these different classes interacting with each other, and the error might appear on your player class, but it might actually be on some other class. Bezi will actually go through and try to figure out where the actual error is occurring. And if it gets it right, it will fix it for you. Whereas other things, they'll just look at your player class and be like, there's no error, So
yeah, no, it makes a lot of sense. It is a good selling point. I played with it initially when it came out, but I haven't had the chance to really spend a lot of time on a project with it. Would you recommend dumping it into like an existing project and starting there, or just going like,
back up first.
well, yeah,
First.
source control.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Well, yeah,
Everybody here
probably.
is using source control, right?
Didn't I say that? Source control first.
Yeah. If you're using
Um,
source control, say so in chat. If you're not, don't admit it.
yeah, well, I'll keep my mouth shut. Definitely make your backups and stuff. I would definitely say try it. I mean, they've got a very nice free trial. Like their free trial will last you quite a long time. And it's $20 otherwise a month, which is not terribly expensive if you got the extra $20. And I've gotten to the point where I do prefer using it and AI first, but I have some strong thoughts. And like the other night, I was sitting here and I went to Discord to my little friend chat and said, it's very powerful, but man, am I bored, because AI coding is boring as all hell. And the amount of
just
time, like,
asking it to do things and waiting.
it's asking to do things and waiting, and then it's the back and forth, because it doesn't always get things right. And I've said this to the Bezi devs. Bezi goes too far often. Like, it will go, and I might ask for a simple class because I'm working on some puzzle game, right? And it will make the class and all these other things it thinks I need. It'll start building some demo levels. It will build some documentation. It will do all this stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, now I need to delete all this stuff. And it can't delete files, which is good. But now I have to go delete stuff because it does too much. So there's so much back and forth. Just that, and that's fine. Okay, I delete some stuff. But then, like, you don't, it's very difficult. It's more like you take 2 steps forward, 1 step back, right? And for an example, I'm working on a project right now, another asset. I might be able to show it. Let me share my screen real quick, and I'll share what I've been working on. It's an upcoming tool. I have to allow that. There we go. So I'm working on a thing. I'm calling it Juicy Actions. Then yes, there will be an Einstein with saying Juicy Actions at a distance. And let me just turn off the thing that's not working right now, and show you the things that are working, so you can get a sense of what it is. It's an action system where you just build actions based on, so you got these different things, and you click this, and this little thing, this action cube, has action on tap. There we go. Has these actions, and you can override the values. So I can change the movement to be this, and then it's gonna jump back to its original position at the end.
Yeah.
So you can do lots of cool things with that, and stack actions together. That's great. It was working great. I had this other thing here. Let me turn this on. This thing that moves towards a location where you click. Again, that's great. You can see it's updating here. There's all these actions interacting with each other. The problem is, if I click twice, it doesn't stop. Instead, it jumps like that. It wasn't doing that. It was working perfectly fine. and then I asked it to change something else, and now it's broken again. So
Oh, and you don't know the code enough because AI wrote it all, huh?
and I don't know the code enough, and I go back and forth between Bezi and ChatGPT because there are times where, especially if it's a single class, I'll go to ChatGPT, and ChatGPT is smarter. Like I'll say that it's better, but it only knows the one class. So sometimes I'll go back and forth. In this case, I was telling my girlfriend last night. She was asking how it's going, and I said I need to just sit down and go through the code because
Yeah.
I
You'll
know
have to
where.
learn it eventually.
Yeah, I know exactly what's going wrong. I just don't know where it's going wrong because it's made all these async things that are doing all this stuff very fancy. And I just don't know which class it's happening in. And oftentimes there is human error too. Like I was dealing with the actions in the inspector. Just really it was these chances in the loop, whether it can loop or not. And I was thinking it should be up here, but turns out no, I was wrong. It should be in here. So I spent a good hour debating with the AI, saying it's not working right. Why isn't it there? And then I was like, oh shit, yeah, of course it's not supposed to. It's supposed to be on the action list, not the object itself. And so sometimes it's human error too. It's what can you do?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm curious how that's going to play out too, with people just not knowing so much of what their code's doing. I always get scared. Like I generally only let chat or AI write small snippets. They usually using the writer AI, and it's just something like I just don't want to type. A lot of time it auto completes, or I'll just type in like, hey, do this 10 lines of code that I don't want to write out. And Pal, you mentioned using writers AI and Chat GPT too, right? Have you been doing that a lot lately?
Mm, I'm more no, not using Rider. I'm using GitHub Copilot, and
Oh,
I
okay.
must say, from the moment month or two, it changed a lot. They updating it quite fast. They added the basic ask mode, which is what ChatGPT is, so you can just talk with him. But they also added edit mode and agent mode. Agent mode mostly knows your Unity project, and it can run console commands on the Unity project. It can know all your classes, every connections with it. And the best thing they added is you can choose which model you use. You can use Cloud, you can use Gemini, you can use GPTs. And if you, because I'm on the I'm on the Pro plan, that's also Plus plan, which uses Cloud Opus and the even more advanced engines. So you can choose how you check with it. It can make code reviews. So it's for programmers. I think it's better than Bezi for right now.
Hmm.
I'm gonna try them
And
both. I
Have
think
you
I have to give
like
them
a
both a
link?
try sometime today. Oh,
for programmers, I'm not talking about making games because I more make assets right
oh,
now. Yeah, but
That's
for
fine.
making assets, it works great. Especially that for what Andrew said, if you I want to switch and check what's with other I just choose the conversation I'm in. I'm changing an AI. It checks my entire conversation with other AI, and it checks if it's the other one was correct.
Yeah.
So I can sometimes I treat it as having several juniors talking with each other about what's working or not.
That's funny.
I
I treat it
mostly
as having seniors above me chatting.
just
no,
watching. It's more
I'm
peers
always
just watching each other, which is good,
I'm
and it's like pair
mostly
programming, right?
Yeah.
yeah, I'm mostly using them as juniors that do stuff that I don't have time to do, but I'm always code reviewing, so I always know my entire code base because I prefer it to be fast. Yeah, and they are then still optimizing it as I am. So
I did pop this up because I just remembered it talking about Ryder. Game Dev Days, JetBrains event that they do every year is coming up in just under a month on the 21st. I dropped the link in chat for anybody who wants to check it out, and I'll put it in the description as well. So anybody can go sign up, but go learn about what new stuff is there for game devs. So while my dog is bark, there they go. Woof,
Nice.
woof, woof. Very exciting stuff. But yeah, I think it's something. It's free, so definitely register. Go check it out if you haven't seen it already. But
Yeah.
they got lots of info on. I know there was. Oh, yeah, Johnny's doing a talk right there.
Oh, nice.
yeah,
So there were. I know there were a couple Unity ones specifically. So
yeah, I saw that Johnny will be making talking there. I want to see his entities.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool. I need to catch up with him. It's been too long. Oh, speaking of lawyers, I don't know. We got one in chat. I forgot Jeff, the lawyer there. We'll have to bring him on sometime and start having him correct us about all of our terrible non-lawyer legal advice.
Yeah. I must say though, the when to in case anyone's thinking about buying my stuff that I make with AI, my tools, which are it's not something you can easily make with AI right now. Those are tools that are much more advanced than an AI can quickly make for you. But I do go through, and I think this is probably the best practice because you know you need to know your code. I do go through at the end all the classes and clean them up, look at them. I will often use AI to say, hey, can we make this more efficient and stuff? So there's a whole, even after it's done, it's in my opinion good practice to go through and actually look at it all with your human eyes, change things, make things more clear, write good comments, and then do documentation for those of us who are making assets. Do really good documentation, and during that process you end up changing it a lot more too. So don't be too afraid of my content that I make with AI is what I'm saying.
That's fair.
Yeah.
not all AI. So I gotta get wrapped up in a second. Kids just got home, but
Cool.
I did want to talk about one last thing, which has been my recent obsession for the past like 3 months, and it's right back behind me. The 3D printer that's back there. I've been nonstop printing stuff. The most recent thing, like last night, was a Sonic the Hedgehog boot, which is actually a deck box for my Sonic the Hedgehog deck.
Wow.
And I've been just having way more fun with it than I ever thought I would. I put off getting a 3D printer for like, I don't know, since they came out. I was like, oh, I should get one of those. Oh, I should get one. I never did. And then finally just went and bought one. I was thinking for sure that I was just going to leave it sitting there and never use it. But there's been like maybe 2 days this month where it wasn't running and printing stuff. So finding myself just constant. It's even full of little gold rings to collect, right? So I've been having a blast with it, and if anybody's been considering it, just
It looks
get
like
one and start printing crap like crazy.
looks like Pavel's got a 3D printed competition for you, and we're gonna
Oh,
have
oh
a
yeah.
3D
What
print-off.
is that?
K-pop Demon Hunter Zoe daggers for my kids.
Oh, I'm gonna
This one is didn't print correctly, so I got it. So, but my kids took it. But
my
this
kids,
one are
my
from,
daughters are obsessed with it. K-pop Demon
uh,
Hunters. It's
yeah,
constantly
but
playing when I get in the car now.
I have too much filament because, and my wife allowed me. I plan to buy filament that glows in the dark and print them in the ones that glow in the dark. So
Oh,
they will be, especially there's white one that glows blue. So they will be exactly how it's in the anime.
oh,
Nice.
sweet. Can you send me the print for that? Because I actually have. I don't know if you saw the background here. I've got that filament in one of these piles. I have the glow blue one right there. I think it would be perfect. I don't know if I have purple though, so might have to get a hold of a purple real quick and just print that up for them. I think they'll enjoy it. I guess before we go, there was one question for you, Andrew. Have you played the Dominion board game? The board game. Is it the card game? I played the card game.
Card game. It's right up there. The big box.
Oh,
Yes, I have.
Let's make you big.
That was one of the first games after Catan that I played. So for years, I would just play Catan with my friends. Like literally 2 years. That's all we would do. We'd just get drunk and playing
Just
Catan.
it's the only board game out there.
It was the only
Oh
board
yeah,
game
hey,
out
they
there.
made
And
a
then-
new board game. There's Monopoly, then they made this.
And my brother came over and brought Dominion. I was like, what is this crap? And so I played it, and then I was texting my friend, hey, there's another game out there. And then shortly after that, we realized that there's a lot of games out there and that we need to go to IKEA to buy the shelves. And so there we go. Now we've got behind me. But here's the thing. I've never played this. I've never played this. I've never played this yet. This yet. This
so
yet.
sad.
This
I've got like
this yet.
2 that I haven't played that are sitting there just waiting.
And I
have
still need.
about
I just wanted
10,
you to see
20.
Powell's K-pop Demon Hunters thing. You want to come check it out? Look what he printed. Oh, it disappeared. He printed a deck. Oh, we're gonna have to make one. All right.
Nice.
If you have time, there's entire model with the sword and the scythe.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna print them up. Like I said, it's running nonstop. I'm just always looking for something to keep going on there. So.
I need to make a miniatures game now so that you can print me miniatures.
Oh, I would love to print you miniatures. I actually printed some for my kid. He was making his own board game, and I just started printing them up things.
Nice. I need to send you the Trolls game, the latest Trolls prototype. I had 3 printed. One I'm going to send to a publisher I know. One I'm keeping for myself. One I'm going to send to you. But I need to get the rules. I need to just type up the rules, and I just haven't done that yet. And then I'll send it to you. And then I'm sure there's an opportunity for some like 3D printed start player thing or something in that game that just is a fun little gimmick. But
Oh yeah.
yeah.
No, I totally agree. I've been waiting to play your Trolls game. Speaking of, how do you not write the documentation for that, but you got this massive documentation for a technical tool?
Because I have 2 reasons. 2 reasons. These are good reasons. One, I've got too much going on, and so I get distracted and I forget things. And I literally I did the rules for Trolls with ChatGPT while I was cooking dinner. I just talked to it and we did. So I've got that ready to go. I just need to finalize it. The other reason is I'm not rich and I would like a little bit more of an income stream, and the board game stuff is like unlikely to ever make money, and if it did would be years from now, whereas stuff for game devs in the asset store, selling on the asset store, is more likely to make a little bit of money.
It's got more of an immediate value and doesn't cost you 70% of the price to build one and ship it out.
Yes. So when I'm feeling confident about my bank account and whatnot, I'm working on board games. But when I'm feeling less confident, I'm like, oh shit, let me make some assets.
It's a good sign of the economy. How many assets is Andrew releasing?
Yeah, stuff like that. But and how busy I am at the day job and how stressed I am and all that. What is that?
Before we go, I just want to show my other latest print, the Jurassic Park deck box that opens up to, it's supposed to be a dinosaur, but it's dinosaurs on the other side.
Nice.
It's a lot of fun. This was the translucent orange that lights up. So
cool.
Yeah, having way too much fun with it. Highly recommend getting one. Just realize that the filament's probably going to end up costing you more than the printer eventually, because you're going to want all the different colors. There's also that Snap Maker U1. Let me just pull it up real quick. They got a Kickstarter. For anybody who's interested in 3D printers, which is, I'm sure, the entire audience. That's why everybody's here, right?
Yep.
This one does 4 colors, but it does it with 4 different heads, so it doesn't waste a whole bunch of plastic switching colors constantly. It just swaps out the filament head, and then it's a couple seconds. So you can do multicolor stuff really, really fast, whereas like this one and most other ones, it has to kind of clear out the other color and then put in the new color. And then if it's doing, 300 layers and it's changing it every time, that step is back and forth for every color for every layer. And this is drastically faster. I've heard a ton of good things about it, so probably end up getting one pretty soon. But they're on Kickstarter though, and they're shipping, I think, pretty soon, next couple months. So
nice.
Pretty interesting. But all right, I think I gotta wrap it up for this week. We'll be back next week, and if anybody's got topic requests or ideas, just drop them down in the comments. Yeah, just drop them down in the comments, and we'll try to cover whatever you guys are interested in, plus whatever else comes up. Maybe a story will be around, or Dave. I know Dave's doing a lot of meetups for Unity. They're pretty interesting. Got lots of cool stuff to talk about, and we can see who else we can get on to as well. I have a lot of fun. But yeah, thanks again, everybody. You guys got any final words before we go, other than go check out Andrew's asset and go vote for Powell for Unity Awards? When is the voting started yet? Do you know?
I don't think so. I think there's a nomination round where you can nominate projects. That's done. But I don't think the voting started. Okay. Well, when it does start, I'm sure Powell's going to have something awesome in there. So go vote for it. All right. Powell, any final words before we go?
Have a nice weekend.
All right.
And
sounds like good advice.
Games.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Thanks again. We'll talk to you later. Oh, don't forget to thumbs up and share the stream and all that stuff. And we'll get back. The more viewers there are, the more lucky we'll be with getting on next week. All right. See you later. Bye.